Hi everybody, this is Matt. Thanks for watching and welcome back. Well, recently I was asked by an RCIA candidate what my first confession was like. So I thought that I would share it with you because I converted from being a Protestant to a Catholic a little over a year ago, and the experience of having that first confession is really something. The sacrament of reconciliation is something that in Protestant circles we didn't have, because as a Protestant we believed that we had direct access to God when it came to forgiveness of sins. But one of the reasons that I converted to Catholicism was because I actually felt like my sins had not been forgiven. So when an RCIA candidate asked me about the sacrament of reconciliation and what it was like for me, of course I wanted to share my experience. My experience, first of all, I had no idea what to expect, and I probably spent a good 2 to 3 weeks before my first confession actually going through an extremely thorough examination of conscience. I had note after note after note after note, because I wanted every single rotten sin that I had ever committed in my life that I could remember all the way back to my childhood forgiven. And it literally took that long. And the unique thing about the experience was I would just be going about my normal business during the day, and then suddenly a past sin would pop into my head. You know, the Holy Spirit brought that to my attention. And so I would write that down. And when I scheduled my first confession with Father, he's like, well, you know, do we need 15 minutes or what? And I'm like, what about 2 hours, Father? He's like, well, okay. And it really did last around an hour and a half to 2 hours, because I went line by line, precept by precept. I was a little bit freaked out because, I mean, before as a Protestant, when you would confess sins to God in prayer, it's just like me being in this room right now. Everything that I would do was this private. And so nobody knew my dirty laundry. But suddenly I was exposing myself, I was exposing my heart, my soul, my deepest sins to another person. And that was a little bit unsettling, and I didn't know what to expect. So I arrived, you know, he knew that I was completely new to the process, and we just started going, and it was a beautiful experience. And when Father gave me absolution, I leaned forward, and I'll never forget this. He placed his hands on top of my head, and the moment that he did that and he went to pronounce absolution, suddenly I felt the burden of all those sins lift. My heart was filled with peace. It was filled with joy. It was such an awesome experience. And I was just overwhelmed by the forgiveness of God. And at my parish we have an adoration chapel, and Father afterwards is like, do you want to go into the adoration chapel so you can pray? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. So my first experience with confession was absolutely awesome. And I still get emotional just even thinking about it today. I go to the sacrament of reconciliation as needed, but sometimes it's been weekly. Other times it's like every 2 weeks. But whenever I feel the need, I go to confession. And the byproduct of it that I have found is the sacrament of reconciliation also helps me from an accountability process. It helps me to be more humble about things, and I really appreciate that. But it's not a scary thing whatsoever. I found it to be a tremendous blessing. So I heartily recommend that. And that's really all I got to say about it. It's nothing scary. I mean, actually, it was a wonderful experience. It was just different, coming from a Protestant perspective to Catholic, and now I'm completely comfortable with it. And, you know, when in doubt, I run to the confessional. I really do, because that is just a great experience. So anyway, there you have it, and I hope that this helps you. So until next time, God bless each and every one of you.